Greetings and welcome to another episode here on Premier 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson. Trusting and hoping that you all are having a wonderful time as I am here to present to you, the public, a very important topic surrounding the Jamaica men's national team. By way of looking on the screen, if you know much about the player that you're seeing, then the topic is about him. However, some persons will be just scrolling across social media and see this video. So, of course, I have to bring across the importance of the topic, which is Jamaica secures Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri. What can Reggae Boys fans expect? This is big. This is massive for the national team. By now, I would say then that Jamaica will not be a part of the World Cup. We will be participating in the Unity Cup, and it is indeed a blessing then to see Jamaica recruiting some highly talented players that can make the national team a future contender. Let's say for qualifying to the World Cup in the upcoming years, but certainly to have a better reputation in the CONCACAF footballing space. So, of course, the news is that five-born son of Dundee Scottish Cup winner accepts shock Jamaica call despite Manchester City wonder kid representing Scotland and England. Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri, 16, is a young man in demand. Precautious Scotland youth international Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri has been named in the senior Jamaica squad for the upcoming Unity Cup in London. Cadamarteri, 16, has enjoyed a prolific maiden campaign with Manchester City's youth side after making a £1.5 million switch from Sheffield Wednesday last summer. The son of former Dundee United Scottish Cup winner Danny, and born in Cupar during his father's times at Tannadice, the attacking prodigy has already represented Scotland at under 19 levels, while aged just 15. He notched a hat-trick for the U17s against Lithuania last November. Cadamarteri is also on England's radar, having been part of the previous U16 camps. You have heard the news and you have seen the brilliance that this youngster do possess. However, Jamaica is the country of choice. This youngster is a modern type profile, not to say he will be at that level at this stage, but based on what he has done as a youngster thus far, it is absolutely a wonderful thing that Jamaica can say, all right, we may miss the World Cup this time around, but for the upcoming ones, we have a possible chance of qualifying and making a huge impact. So the thing is, Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri is not the only person to have a sibling representing the national team. However, his addition is the latest because some of the popular names would have been like Damian Lowe and his father Ananda Lowe. We heard about the Swabies that plays for the Reggae Girls, and you have players like the Bells and the Stewarts, and the list goes on, that represented the nation before. Even the phrase, who is still active. However, this is all about Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri, a player who I see a profile like Julian Alvarez in, but that is something that I'm going to touch up on later down in the video. So apart from this, people, I just have to say that Premier 7 do have 2,967 subscribers. I am kindly asking you guys to please go ahead to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new. However, if you are already a subscriber, then you know what to do. Continue to support the channel, because when you do, then majority, if not all of these videos will be sent out there by YouTube. Now, I spoke about Julian Alvarez before, but let's talk about why this call up matters. Now, Jamaica will be participating in the Unity Cup against a team like India, and it is in a country or in a place for which Jamaica looked fairly well composed and organized when they played in the last Unity Cup, where most of our overseas players are born and raised. So for a player like Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri, I am not of the expectations that he will start, but what I am looking into is for him to have a feel of Jamaican culture, have a feel of the environment that Jamaica is a part of, and learn as much as he can. Because the thing is, him choosing Jamaica is a comfortable thing for him. He's a very good player. The fact is that his older brother in a Bailey Cadamarteri is representing Jamaica. He more so will start for Jamaica. So, when you're moving to somewhere new, it is a wonderful feeling that a family members of yours is there that you are used to, that you can learn from. And I mean, the Jamaica footballing space, whereas the players in the camp isn't bad, regardless of the results or in spite of the results, we have some players who will kindly welcome a Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri, who I believe is one that we should have our eyes on. So the fact is that his inclusion, as I've said before, is for him to become accustomed or to know about the Jamaican culture, learn about our footballing staffs, learn about our footballing style of play, and of course, with his inclusion, there's a lot of here for him to excel. So with him a part of the Jamaica men's national team, I personally believe then that it will be a blessing for us to have two good strikers that can lead the line in the upcoming years to come. So I spoke about a little on his father in a Danny. His father was a proper striker who represented himself really well as a European. However, despite his son, both sons that is chosen Jamaica, I don't think it's a big issue for him because he have a very good link with the Jamaican system. So he believes in that his sons can come and represent a nation of his heritage or of his family's heritage. So the thing is, with a Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri, he was at Sheffield Wednesday before. Now he is at Manchester City. But the fact is that as a youngster, he has been representing himself pretty well, scoring some good goals, making out of assists. His overall goal contribution proves that this youngster is not a joke. This youngster is not somebody that you can therefore write off to say he is not a bright spark in the footballing space. Because when you look on the details here, Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri is an elite teenage striker. His youth career highlights and goals tallies includes Manchester City 2025 to 26, tallied 35 goals and 12 assists in his debut season, including 4 hat-tricks and a standout 4-goal performance against Chelsea's under-16s. Sheffield Wednesday's 2024-2025 finished his season with the Olds as their 18 professional development league with top scorer with 24 goals in 23 games. He also scored 19 goals in just 8 flooded cup matches. Furthermore, international for Scotland notched impressive performances during a brilliant hat-trick against Lithuania in late 2025. Are we convinced by this that this youngster will be the player that Jamaica has longed for? Based on how he scores goals, then maybe he will become Jamaica all-time goal scorer. The the thing is, as I've said earlier, out, I don't wish to overrate the player, but where credit is due, this youngster is absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely phenomenal at his age, playing football at the level at under 16s, under 19s. He can even play senior football for Jamaica then based on how impressive he is. Now the thing is, um, before I talk about the type of player he is, the influence of a Manchester City on this player, I think it's a very good look because based on how Manchester City go about in recruiting their players, instead of going for players at huge price tags or huge fees, they try their best to scout players who have great potential, bring them in a system, and build them into world stars, build them into world beaters. Not all players will be born and raised in Manchester to be a part of their academy. Who sometimes stays, who sometimes leave. There are other players who they brought in from an earlier age and make the best out of them. So in this case now of a Cadamarteri, he will be that player who will be developed, who will learn how to make his game better, who will learn to present himself as a adult futuristically on and off the pitch. And in that case, he will be the type of player that the world more so will be afraid of whenever he have the ball at his feet. So now talking about the type of player that he is, I mean, I looked on some of his playing style and personally I think that this youngster replicates what a Julian Alvarez is, who is currently playing for Atletico Madrid. He's an Argentine and he used to play for Manchester City. But then when a player replicates or reminds you of a player like Julian Alvarez, then you will then believe then that how he plays would be a flexible player, a player who can take set pieces, a player who's good on the counter, a player who understands when to pass, when to shoot, presses really well, understand the tactics set by his coach. I mean, if I'm wrong or if you want to suggest another name, then you can do so. But this player is very mobile, he's very energetic, he's active on and off the ball, so you know he will not be a static player on the pitch. One of the most noticeable thing about this guy is that of his movements. He constantly looks to create angles, occupies defenders intelligently, and remains involved through attacking phases. Remember, this guy scored several hat-tricks. He scored 4 goals against Chelsea. Are we going to see a Cadamarteri in the next 1 to 2 seasons starting a few games for Manchester City or coming from the bench? Beyond this player himself, Cadamarteri inclusion also represents something larger for Jamaica football. How we go about recruiting players now, it seems like the blueprint of a Manchester City, seeing the talents, going for them, scouting them, getting them in as early as possible. I mean, the fans always talk about these things. Get players from an earlier stage. Don't get them when they're too late because some of these players that are playing for Jamaica right now, they will leave shortly. So we have to build from somewhere. So that matters because, of course, modern international football is heavily influenced by development environment. So some of our top players that we have are some of our key starters are players of the base in Jamaica system. Some of them are in the championship, some are in the JPL, some are in the Premier League, some are all over the world. I mean, it is something that I can then say Jamaican football is improving. So the more players Jamaica can integrate at this age or at this stage, the more players Jamaica can improve technically, advancedly, let them know about our culture, something that we can then say we don't have to stress about how we're going to play the football, even if our tactics is not all that good. These players' development and quality will help us to get over the line. So, people, Jamaica secures a Caelan-Kole Cadamarteri. Is it shocking for some persons? It is, but it is a blessing for us because we suffered so many times in regards to the World Cup games, but I think the Most High has blessed us to get a player like this guy. I've said before that he's like a Julian Alvarez type, the mini version of Julian Alvarez. You can remember that I said this on this video. If all goes well for this player, he will be an iconic striker for Jamaica. Flexible, I normally see him drifts from the left, from the right, through the middle. Well, he's an all-rounder as a frontline player. So people, it is something good that we can look into. So I just want to hear what you have to say, though, in regards to his recruitment. He's a brilliant player. So, people, remember the goal is 3,000 subscribers. Let this video be one that can take me even to 2,980 subscribers, leaving me with 20 more to get to the 3,000 mark. So, you all take care. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Goodbye until we meet again.